Normally people believe that the alternative to being selfish, which is what, the trait that takers usually have, is being selfless. But you've come up with another term called otherish. Could you explain the difference?
Yeah, so when I first started studying give and take, I thought that basically self-interest versus sort of selflessness were on one spectrum. And you had takers over here who are very selfish. You had givers who are very selfless. And it actually turns out, if you look at the data on this, that you can more effectively draw a 2x2 and say concern for your own interests and concern for other people's interests are actually independent motivations. So you could score low and high on one or on both. So the takers tend to be purely selfish. There's one group of givers who's purely selfless, who constantly put other people's interests ahead of their own. But there's this other group of givers that I call otherish, who are concerned about benefiting others, but they also keep their own interests in the rearview mirror. And so they will look for ways to help others that are either low cost to themselves or even high benefit to themselves, i.e. win-win as opposed to win-lose. Here's the irony. The selfless givers might be more altruistic in principle, right? Because they're constantly elevating other people's interests ahead of their own. But my data and research by lots of others show that they're actually less generous because they run out of energy, they run out of time, and they lose their resources because they don't basically take enough care of themselves. The otherish givers are able to sustain their giving by looking for ways that giving can hurt them less or benefit them more.
So the vulnerabilities that you identified earlier of burnout and being a doormat is actually something that affects selfless givers more than others.
That's right. Yeah, selfless givers are at much greater risk of burnout and exploitation than are the otherish givers.